People often spend years trying to become more attractive, believing the answer is hidden in appearance, fashion, or the approval of others. Yet the people who leave the deepest impression rarely do so because of how they look. They are remembered because of who they are. Character is what remains when beauty fades, when trends disappear, and when no one is watching. It is the invisible force that shapes every conversation, every decision, and every relationship. A woman with strong character carries a quiet strength that cannot be copied because it comes from the choices she makes every single day. Real beauty begins long before anyone notices a smile or compliments a face. It begins in the heart, where honesty is chosen over convenience, where kindness is offered without expecting anything in return, and where integrity guides actions even when nobody would ever know the difference. These qualities create a presence that cannot be manufactured. They create trust, and trust is one of the rarest forms of attraction in the world. Anyone can create an image. Few people build a character. An image depends on lighting, clothing, and the opinions of strangers. Character grows through difficult moments, painful lessons, and the courage to remain true to personal values. Every challenge becomes an opportunity to become stronger rather than harder. Every disappointment becomes a lesson instead of an excuse. This is where lasting beauty is formed. A woman who lives with character does not need to compete for attention because respect naturally follows her. She does not waste energy pretending to be someone she is not. Authenticity gives her confidence because she understands that being genuine is far more powerful than trying to impress everyone around her. She knows that the right people are drawn to truth, not perfection. Character is revealed in ordinary moments. It appears in the promises that are kept, in the words spoken during disagreement, in the patience shown to someone who cannot offer anything in return, and in the ability to remain humble even after success arrives. These moments may seem small, but together they shape a life that people admire long after first impressions are forgotten. Many people chase external beauty because it delivers quick attention. Character requires patience because its rewards take time to appear. Yet the admiration built on appearance is temporary, while the admiration built on integrity grows stronger with every passing year. People eventually forget a beautiful face, but they rarely forget someone who made them feel valued, respected, and understood. True beauty is reflected in the way a woman treats herself as well. She refuses to betray her values simply to gain acceptance. She protects her peace instead of seeking constant approval. She understands that self-respect is not arrogance, but the foundation of every healthy relationship. When she values herself, she teaches others to value her as well. Character also creates emotional stability. Life will always bring uncertainty, criticism, and unexpected setbacks. A woman grounded in strong values does not allow temporary circumstances to define her identity. She remains calm during chaos because her confidence comes from within rather than from the changing opinions of the world. That inner stability becomes a source of comfort and inspiration for everyone around her. The most attractive people are not those who never struggle. They are those who continue choosing honesty over deception, courage over fear, compassion over bitterness, and purpose over distraction. Every one of these choices strengthens character. Every one of these choices adds a kind of beauty that no mirror can measure. When beauty is built on character, it becomes timeless. It reaches beyond appearance and touches hearts. It creates trust instead of curiosity, loyalty instead of temporary admiration, and influence instead of attention. Speak a woman who leads with character becomes unforgettable because the world may notice appearances first, but it is character that leaves a lasting legacy. The strongest confidence is rarely the loudest. It does not demand attention, seek approval, or compete to prove its value. It simply exists. A truly confident woman understands that her worth is not determined by applause, popularity, or comparison. She walks into every room with quiet assurance because she has already settled the most important question within herself. She knows who she is. That inner certainty becomes her greatest strength, allowing her to remain calm when others chase recognition and validation. Many people mistake arrogance for confidence because both can appear strong from a distance, yet they are built on completely different foundations. Arrogance grows from insecurity that constantly needs to be protected. Confidence grows from self-awareness that no longer needs to be defended. One tries to appear superior. The other simply chooses to become better every day. One depends on comparison. The other depends on personal growth. A woman with genuine confidence celebrates the success of others because she does not believe someone else, and a pause victory takes anything away from her own journey. She understands that life is not a competition where one person must lose for another to win. She encourages people instead of feeling threatened by them. This generosity of spirit reveals a level of strength that no amount of attention can ever replace. Confidence is also reflected in the ability to admit mistakes. Arrogance protects pride at all costs, refusing to acknowledge failure or accept correction. True confidence listens, learns, and grows. It recognizes that wisdom is gained by remaining teachable. A woman who can say, "It was wrong," demonstrates greater strength than someone who always insists on being right. Growth begins the moment pride steps aside. There is remarkable power in quiet confidence. It speaks through actions more than words. It keeps promises, remains consistent, and lets results become the loudest voice. Instead of announcing every achievement, it continues working with discipline and humility. People naturally notice someone whose actions consistently match their values. Respect earned through consistency lasts much longer than attention gained through self-promotion. Confident women do not seek approval from every opinion they encounter. They understand that criticism is part of every meaningful journey. Not every voice deserves equal influence. Instead of allowing negative comments to define them, they remain focused on their purpose. Their identity is rooted in values rather than public opinion. This freedom allows them to move forward without becoming trapped by the fear of judgment. Humility makes confidence even more attractive. A woman can recognize her talents without believing she is greater than anyone else. She can appreciate her accomplishments while remaining grateful to those who helped her along the way. Gratitude keeps confidence grounded. It reminds her that every opportunity carries responsibility, and every success creates another chance to serve others with kindness and integrity. Real confidence also appears in difficult conversations. Instead of raising her voice to gain control, she communicates with calmness and respect. She listens before responding. She speaks with honesty instead of hostility. Emotional maturity allows her to disagree without becoming disrespectful. This ability to remain composed during conflict creates trust and demonstrates leadership that inspires rather than intimidates. The woman who possesses authentic confidence does not hide her light, nor does she use it to overshadow others. She shines in a way that encourages everyone around her to discover their own potential. Her presence brings peace rather than pressure. She lifts people instead of making them feel small. Speak that is the difference between influence and ego. One builds people up while the other seeks to stand above them. Confidence without arrogance is not something that appears overnight. It is developed through every challenge faced with courage, every lesson accepted with humility, every promise kept despite difficulty, and every decision made with integrity. Over time, these choices create an unshakable identity that no criticism can destroy and no praise can inflate. A woman who carries this kind of confidence becomes truly magnetic because her strength comes from within. Her character speaks louder than her words, and her quiet assurance leaves a lasting impression on every life she touches. The strongest woman in the room is not always the one who speaks the loudest or commands the most attention. More often, she is the one who remains steady when everything around her feels uncertain. Emotional strength is not about hiding feelings or pretending that pain does not exist. It is about learning how to face every emotion without allowing it to control your choices. That quiet ability becomes one of the most powerful forms of influence a person can possess. Every person will experience disappointment, rejection, failure, and moments that test their spirit. The difference is not found in who faces hardship. The difference is found in how they respond to it. A woman with emotional strength refuses to let temporary pain become a permanent identity. She acknowledges difficult emotions, learns from them, and continues moving forward with wisdom instead of resentment. That resilience inspires others because it proves that circumstances do not have the final word. Influence is never created by perfection. It is created by consistency. When people know they can depend on your calm presence during difficult moments, they begin to trust your leadership. They recognize that your actions are guided by principles rather than emotions that change from one moment to the next. This kind of stability cannot be purchased, copied, or imitated. It is earned through countless moments of choosing discipline over impulse and understanding over reaction. Emotionally strong women understand the importance of self-control. They know that every reaction creates a ripple. Words spoken in anger can leave wounds that last for years, while patience has the power to preserve relationships that might otherwise fall apart. Choosing peace instead of conflict is not a sign of weakness. It is evidence of remarkable inner strength. It takes far more courage to remain composed than to surrender to frustration. There is also strength in vulnerability. Many people believe they must appear fearless to earn respect, but genuine influence grows when people see honesty. A woman who admits when she is struggling, seeks wisdom when she needs guidance, and remains open to learning demonstrates confidence that does not depend on pretending to have all the answers. Authenticity creates connection because people trust those who are real more than those who appear flawless. Emotional maturity also means refusing to carry unnecessary bitterness. Holding on to anger may feel like protection, but it often becomes a prison. The emotionally strong woman understands that forgiveness is not about excusing harmful behavior. It is about freeing her own heart from the weight of resentment. She chooses peace because she knows her future deserves more attention than her past. Every step forward becomes lighter when she releases what no longer serves her growth. Life will present criticism, misunderstandings, and moments when others fail to recognize your value. Emotional strength allows a woman to remain focused without becoming distracted by every negative opinion. She listens with wisdom, accepts constructive advice with humility, and lets unfair judgment pass without allowing it to define her identity. Her confidence comes from her values, not from the changing voices around her. Speak. The women who leave the greatest impact are often those who create emotional safety for others. They listen before speaking. They encourage instead of condemning. They remain patient when others lose hope. Their presence brings calm in distressful situations because they have learned to master themselves before trying to influence anyone else. People naturally gravitate toward those who make them feel understood rather than judged. Emotional strength is also revealed through perseverance. Dreams rarely become reality without obstacles. There will be days when progress feels invisible and effort seems unnoticed. The emotionally resilient woman continues anyway. She understands that growth happens quietly long before success becomes visible. She trusts the process, remains faithful to her purpose, and refuses to allow temporary setbacks to erase long-term vision. A woman who develops emotional strength becomes unforgettable because her influence extends far beyond words. She leads through example, responds with wisdom instead of impulse, and carries herself with grace in every season of life. Her courage encourages others to become stronger. Her compassion reminds people that kindness and strength can exist together. Her resilience proves that true power is not measured by control over others, but by mastery over oneself, that lasting influence becomes her legacy, shaping lives long after individual conversations have ended, and leaving behind an example that continues to inspire future generations. The world often celebrates power that is loud, visible, and impossible to ignore. It applauds authority, confidence, and achievement because these qualities stand in the spotlight. Yet there is another kind of power that quietly changes lives every single day. It does not demand recognition or applause. It works through compassion, patience, generosity, and understanding. That power is kindness. It may appear gentle on the surface, but it possesses the strength to transform hearts, restore hope, and influence people in ways that force never could. Kindness is not weakness. It takes tremendous strength to remain compassionate in a world that often rewards selfishness. Anyone can react with anger when they are hurt. Anyone can become cold after disappointment. Choosing kindness despite difficult experiences requires emotional discipline and remarkable character. A woman who continues to treat people with respect after facing hardship demonstrates a level of inner strength that cannot be measured by titles or achievements. The most unforgettable people are rarely remembered because they had the loudest voice. They are remembered because they made others feel valued. They listened without rushing to judge. They encouraged when someone else was ready to give up. They offered hope when darkness seemed overwhelming. Those moments may appear small, yet they become lasting memories in the lives of others. A single act of genuine kindness can change the direction of someone's entire day. and sometimes even the direction of an entire life. A woman who leads with kindness creates trust wherever she goes. People naturally feel safe around someone who speaks with honesty, listens with patience, and responds with compassion, instead of criticism. This kind of influence cannot be demanded. It is earned through consistency. Every thoughtful word, every sincere smile, and every act of generosity becomes another reason for people to believe in her character. Trust grows where kindness lives. Kindness also reflects confidence. Insecure people often believe they must prove their value by putting others down. Secure people understand that lifting someone else never reduces their own worth. A confident woman celebrates another person's success without jealousy because she knows there is enough opportunity for everyone to grow. Her encouragement becomes a source of strength for others, creating an environment where people feel inspired instead of intimidated. Life will eventually present moments when kindness feels difficult. There will be misunderstandings, unfair criticism, and people who fail to appreciate genuine intentions. During those moments, kindness becomes a decision rather than a feeling. It means choosing dignity instead of revenge, patience instead of impulsive reactions, and wisdom instead of bitterness. This choice protects the heart from becoming hardened by disappointment. It allows character to remain stronger than circumstance. True kindness begins with the way a woman speaks. Words have the power to heal or to wound. They can build confidence or destroy it. An emotionally mature woman understands this responsibility. She chooses words that encourage growth, express truth with respect, and create hope even during challenging conversations. She knows that every sentence carries influence, and she uses that influence to leave people better than she found them. Kindness is also expressed through actions that often go unnoticed. It appears in helping someone without expecting recognition. It appears in forgiving when resentment would seem easier. It appears in showing patience to those who are struggling and extending grace when others are quick to judge. These quiet actions reveal extraordinary strength because they are motivated by principle rather than personal reward. The beauty of kindness is that it creates a ripple far beyond the original moment. One encouraging conversation inspires another. One act of generosity encourages someone else to become generous. One expression of compassion reminds another person that goodness still exists. This chain of influence continues long after the original act has been forgotten. A woman who consistently chooses kindness becomes the beginning of positive change in countless lives she may never fully know. The strongest leaders understand that respect built through fear disappears when fear is gone. Respect built through kindness continues because it is rooted in genuine connection. People willingly follow those who care about them. They remember those who believed in them before anyone else did. They remained loyal to those who treated them with dignity, regardless of their position or circumstances. Kindness is one of the rarest superpowers because it requires courage, humility, patience, and unwavering character. It asks a woman to rise above pride, respond with grace, instead of hostility, and remain compassionate even when life becomes difficult. This quiet strength leaves a mark that time cannot erase. Long after appearances have changed and achievements have faded into memory, kindness continues to shine through the lives it has touched, proving that the most beautiful influence is always carried by a generous heart. There is something unforgettable about a woman who knows why she wakes up every morning. She does not move through life waiting for someone else to define her value or give her direction. She carries a sense of purpose that influences every decision she makes, every challenge she faces, and every relationship she builds. That purpose becomes an invisible force that naturally draws respect, admiration, and trust. People are attracted to those who are moving towards something meaningful because purpose creates a kind of energy that cannot be faked. Many people spend their lives chasing attention, believing that recognition will finally make them feel complete. Yet, attention fades as quickly as it arrives. Purpose is different. It gives a woman stability when applause disappears and strength when nobody notices her effort. She continues working because her motivation is connected to something greater than temporary approval. Her identity is rooted in her mission rather than in public opinion. A woman with purpose does not waste her life comparing herself to everyone around her. She understands that comparison steals focus and drains confidence. Instead of asking why someone else is succeeding faster, she asks how she can become a better version of herself today. Every step forward matters because she measures progress against her own potential rather than someone else's achievements. This mindset creates peace, clarity, and unstoppable momentum. Purpose also changes the way obstacles are viewed. Difficult seasons no longer become reasons to quit. They become opportunities to grow stronger. Every setback carries a lesson. Every delay develops patience. Every disappointment builds resilience. A woman driven by purpose understands that the path to meaningful success is rarely comfortable, but she refuses to let temporary struggles distract her from a lasting vision. She keeps moving because she knows that every challenge is shaping the person she is becoming. People naturally trust someone whose life reflects consistency. A purposeful woman keeps her promises, honors her values, and remains committed even when progress feels slow. She understands that discipline is more reliable than motivation because emotions change while commitment remains. This consistency creates credibility. Others begin to believe in her because they see the same character on difficult days as they do during successful ones. Purpose brings confidence without creating pride. A woman who understands her calling does not feel the need to compete for every spotlight. She celebrates the victories of others because she knows that another person's success does not diminish her own future. She is too focused on her mission to become distracted by jealousy. Her confidence comes from knowing that she has a unique contribution to make, and no comparison can replace that responsibility. There is remarkable beauty in a woman who chooses growth over comfort. While many people avoid change because it feels uncertain, she embraces it because she understands that purpose demands continuous development. She reads, learns, listens, and improves. She accepts correction without becoming defensive because every lesson makes her stronger. Her willingness to grow becomes one of the qualities that inspires everyone around her to pursue excellence as well. Purpose also transforms relationships. Instead of searching for people who simply admire her, she looks for those who encourage growth, honesty, and wisdom. She surrounds herself with individuals who challenge her to become better rather than remain comfortable. Her conversations become meaningful because they are built around ideas, values, and shared vision instead of endless distractions. The people closest to her recognize that she brings direction into every environment she enters. A purposeful woman understands that her greatest influence often comes through service. She asks how she can contribute instead of constantly asking what she can receive. She uses her gifts to encourage others, solve problems, and create opportunities wherever she goes. This generous mindset creates lasting impact because people remember those who help them discover hope. Confidence and strength influence grows naturally when service becomes a way of life. Purpose also gives courage during moments of uncertainty. There will always be voices that question your dreams, circumstances that test your patience, and fears that tempt you to settle for less than your potential. A woman who knows her purpose refuses to let those voices become louder than her vision. She continues taking faithful steps, even when the destination is not fully visible. Her determination becomes an example that inspires others to pursue their own calling with greater courage. The most magnetic woman is not the one seeking constant attention. She is the one living with intention. Her purpose shapes her decisions, strengthens her character, deepens her relationships, and gives meaning to every season of life. She walks with quiet confidence because she understands that a life guided by purpose leaves a legacy far greater than popularity. Long after achievements are forgotten and appearances have changed, the impact of a purposeful life continues through the hearts she inspired, the lives she encouraged, and the example she chose to live every single day.